now, guys, we got to find out in the Observer after this pay-per-view what Dave Meltzer had to say.
That's right, it's time to find out what did Dave Meltzer say.
Well, you know what? I mean, I'd have to give that 5 stars.
Rumor has it that Mabel is going to be the third guy.
Here we go. WCW's Hog Wild pay-per-view took place this week and was a bit of a disaster. An hour before the show, a major blackout affecting 9 different states, mostly in California, meant many people weren't able to order the pay-per-view. As WWF learned a few months ago when a power outage killed their pay-per-view, most fans don't bother to order the replay, so the buy rate is sure to be affected by this. The setting of the show was also a negative. It took place outdoors on a platform over a bunch of dirt, which cut down some of the outside the ring action. The show took place at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, blah, blah, blah. Crowd was estimated at about 5,000, although at one point on commentary, Bobby Heenan claimed there were 300,000. It was all bikers who don't watch wrestling and weren't familiar with the heel turn, so Hogan got a huge babyface reaction from the crowd.
Did Dave go and interview every single person and ask them? Okay, cool. I know.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah, no, he was on location there in Sturgis to ask
yeah,
every single one of them.
He had a source on the scene who asked everyone if they're a wrestling fan. Okay, I understand now. Okay, continue.
Just like he had that source, one of
movie
Hogan's
set.
films.
What a dickhead.
The only wrestlers who got heel heat were Harlem Heat because they're black, and the Sturgis crowd doesn't particularly care for that sort of thing. What a sentence!
That sort of thing.
What the fuck is wrong?
God,
That's so funny, man. Blade, anything to say here?
Holy shit. I mean, like, this has got like the trappings of everything I hate about like internet fandom and people on the internet, like in the early days, right? It's like, firstly, the people in Sturgis don't know anything about wrestling or not fans of wrestling. What a fucking gatekeeper-esque attitude to have. Like, you fucking loser. Like, who gives a shit? They're there watching, regardless if they're fucking some dweeb writing their shitty newsletter in their fucking dimly lit apartment, or there's someone who's just shown up to like hang out with their friends. Who gives a fuck? Like, they're still being entertained. Wrestling is still occurring. People are enjoying it. Like, just enjoy your hobbies for the sake of enjoying them. It just is sometimes what irritates me. And then like to put a lens on the fact that like the people of Sturgis don't like black people. Well, like, fuck you and fuck the people of Sturgis. Like, fuck's sake, you absolutely so frustrating.
I'm sure not everyone in the crowd were, you know?
Yeah, they're all racist. Everyone there was racist.
Every single one of them. Like, I'm sure, like, and if they all found out at the end of the day that, like, Harlem Heat, I think they're both from Texas, aren't they? So,
yeah, oh man. Okay, I'm glad that last week was an anomaly and that everything we agreed about with Dave was undone this week. So
yeah,
good.
Straight up.
Business as usual.
Anything to follow up, Kev?
What's the original question?
No, just what Dave had to say here, you know, the first part about, you know.
He's just got his own agenda every single time. And like, just to give that match 4 stars with Ben Malenko, it's like,
it got no reaction.
that's part of the match. The reaction from the crowd. That's why wrestling never worked during the time when there was no crowd, because it needs that. That's a big part of the match. And if you're not getting that, you're just biased to your own personal taste that match was a 4 star. It's not. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of other matches that both those guys done that are gonna be 4 star or whatever, but that one wasn't their good one. It wasn't a good one. I couldn't tell you why. It just didn't work.
Okay, like, I just wanted to quickly say this because it pisses me off. He gave that match that got no reaction all those stars, right? What was it, 4.25? No reaction, but Hogan versus Rock, 3 stars. Hogan and Rock at WrestleMania with the biggest reaction ever, 3 stars. Fuck off, man. Oh my god. Anyway, you got 2 more things here that he said. As for the show itself, some of the matches were good, but the show was marred by bad finishes. Benoit Malenko's match would have been a match of the year candidate in any other setting, but this crowd couldn't have cared less, and it hurt the match. Hogan won the WCW title in a horrible match. Booty Man came out afterwards in an NWO shirt as if he wanted to be the newest member of the group, but Hogan, Hall, and Nash turned on him and beat him down and sprayed NWO on the belt. Anyway, the comment here about the Malenko and Benoit match just reeks of someone who's just... Does he get it? I saw you put your hands in your face whilst I was reading that, Kev. It's painful, isn't it?
Ugh.
The last thing he said was 123 kid Sean Waltman was scheduled to debut on the show as the fourth member of the NWO, but WWF hasn't sent him his contractual release after agreeing to do so, pretty much for no other reason than they wanted to fuck over WCW. Waltman was backstage at the show and ready to work, but without his official release, WCW couldn't allow him to do anything. Something about that kind of makes me think it's a bit of horseshit. Because I can see that maybe the first part would be right, but Waltman knows he can't appear if he hasn't got the release. So
why would he go all the way there?
Yeah, but why would he be like, I'm ready to work even though I don't have my official release? Why would he do that? He's not stupid. Unbelievable.
Maybe he was just doing that thing that they always talk about. Make sure you fucking bring your gear, brother, because you never know if you can get on the show.
That's it, bro. Well, that's all I've got to say with Dave Meltzer and what he had to say, unfortunately. Well, no, actually, fortunately. Let's get away from it, guys. So any final thoughts? Anything else you guys want to say? I want to start with you, Blade.
Look, I think it's an interesting proposition for them to do this for like an event. And, I know that this is something that they sort of emulate in other arenas, like, Bash at the Beach and spring, like they did the spring break thing later on and all that sort of stuff. So like, it's a risk again, to do what they did. And, unlike Dave, I enjoy when companies are willing to try and innovate. If it doesn't work, like it doesn't work. Did I particularly enjoy the setting of Sturgis, South Dakota with its motorcycles? Like, no, it was loud. And I think at times like distracted a bit from the wrestling, but it was different. And that's also okay. So, I know you're not listening, Dave, but stick up your ass.